Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. It is November 7th, Monday night edition, going back-to-back Mondays. Chad, how we doing? How was your weekend?
Pretty good, rainy. We're getting some actual rain here. So, that's a change.
Okay, good change, though. Let's beat the heat.
Yeah,
let's get into fall. It was like 44 degrees out all weekend here. Our high was maybe mid-50s, so yeah. A little chilly,
nice.
But busy weekend, fun weekend. Still found time for football.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. We did a little college football, traveled to Kansas City, watched a little bit of NFL there, got some good beers, but still found time to watch some games. I can tell you a quick little story. We went to a tailgate Saturday morning.
Nice.
And in the middle of it, I think we were playing Rage Cage or something there, and I look at Chris and I go, "Did you see if Arsenal won today?" She looks at me and she goes, "They play at 6 tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like that was a test, and
oh
passed.
My gosh!
So holy moly,
she's bought in so hard.
I can't believe it. I was totally like gonna catch her off guard and like just to see what she would say. And then, boy, do I know, Sunday morning, 6 a.m. alarm clock. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, Arsenal game's on. I was like, what? It's like, this is amazing.
Damn.
So that's our weekends now, and I'm not complaining in any way.
No, that's cool.
All right, let's backtrack a little bit here. Let's go to Saturday morning, Leeds and Bournemouth. What a game.
Oof.
I did not expect that game to be as exciting. I saw the scoreline and I was like, okay, like goals were scored, but man, that game was crazy.
Yeah, that was, definitely a surprise. Like, Leeds, I mean, all season they've been like kind of exciting sometimes, kind of just frustrating other times, and
wishy-washy.
Yeah, and I guess Bournemouth has kind of been the same, but maybe a little bit more on the frustrating end. But man, yeah, they just both came together, and you think it's going to go one way, and then it completely flips, and
it's a doozy. Doozy
yeah.
of the match.
Yeah.
Leeds now have won their last two.
Mm-hmm.
Both scoring game winners late into the final third of the match from Somerville. Like, is this momentum that they can carry on, or is this something that's going to quickly fade? Because taking down Liverpool was one thing, taking down Bournemouth is like opposite spectrum. But
yeah,
two big positives.
You had to dig out the comeback against Bournemouth, so like still a really good result. I think you can carry the momentum, but then it's the World Cup, so everything will reset.
It's so wild that we're about to do the World Cup in T-minus 13 days, which is just insane. I can't believe we're that close. But Leeds moves up to 12th in the table now, which is kind of crazy because I feel like it was 2 weeks ago when they were in relegation zone, and we were kind of worried for them. Bournemouth, they probably should have won that game, especially when it was tied. I was like, okay, like that draw is going to feel like a loss. Then I was like, oh.
I mean, yeah, I think they went in at halftime and, maybe felt like game is kind of over, like they're not coming back, and then, come out and not playing at 100% anymore. And there you go. You can't turn off in Premier League. Teams will take advantage of that.
No, good for them for making that comeback. It was really fun to watch. Those goals were crazy, and the crowd noise was insane.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna give a shout out to Tyler Adams, because like that guy was everywhere through that midfield, and there's a good handful of times where like he kind of picked up some of the slack of the other guys that just like general like lead sloppiness, and he was kind of in there, and I think he made 5 tackles or something like that. So like he was holding down the midfield pretty well, and probably at least one of the reasons Leeds was able to get back into the game so well.
If he can carry that momentum into the World Cup, I'd be very proud.
Yeah,
because
I hope so.
I don't want to say our team is looking controversial, because it's just like I have no expectations going into this. It's going to be a wild one for sure. Due to our little audio technical problems here, I forgot to mention what beer you're drinking. If you're having a beer, having a little sip.
Oh,
Totally skipped over that part. Backtrack a little further. I'm doing my stud work beer. I just have it in my cooler.
nice.
Doing a little big boy to, nightcap.
Yeah, why not? Well, I poured a nice healthy glass of little Kirkland's. I think it's a cab.
Okay.
I forget what it is now.
Are you going to be Kirkland's poster boy tonight? Is that the fit?
That's the fit.
Okay.
I didn't get the sweats, but I at least had to get the hoodie.
Next time. All right. Well, that game, again, was super fun, but that's not the game I really want to talk about. I really want to move on to Man City. And why didn't they crush Fulham without Mitrovic? And Fulham almost took points away from them. They were so close.
Yeah.
So close.
I wish Mitrovic was in this game, because I think then Fulham would have really just like done a little bit more.
I think they would have been a little more confident.
Yeah, they had the man advantage for so long, but still it looked like City had the man advantage for, that whole game almost. I get, Fulham was probably a little bit surprised to be in the position they were, and even if you walk away with a point against City, that's a great result. So I think Mitrovic would have just been a really nice addition to that game, and he bullies the back line so well, and I think it would have really kept City back a little bit more, and I don't know if Fulham would have got the win out of it, but I think they probably could have at least got the draw with him there.
Well, especially with Cancelo out too. He would have eaten up that right side, even though Cancelo's not playing that far back too much of the time. It would have been really, really interesting to see. Did you see Holland's celebration after the PK?
Yeah.
Do you think that was warranted?
I mean,
now mind you, first yellow of the season because he took off his kit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess it's like one of those, like, it kind of reminded me of I think it was last season where Arsenal played Liverpool and like went down to 10 men pretty early, and the game ended in a draw, and like Arsenal players are like heavily celebrating, and I think it's maybe something like that, where it's like you played so much of the game with down a man, and it's just like you got over the line and got the win, and I don't know.
Against Fulham though, that's where I'm like,
I don't want to be like a celebration police thing, like celebrate how you want to celebrate, but I mean, yeah, you'd expect, rip the jersey off against United or something, or like a derby.
Okay, let me rephrase this a little bit. I don't mind the players celebrating. I thought it was Pep's celebration that was kind of like a little crazy. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see him kind of going buck wild? Like, that's the celebration you make after beating Liverpool. In my mind, like, I don't know. I see so many coaches, i.e. Conte, score the third goal and just straight walk off the pitch because he's just like so pissed off that they couldn't put Bournemouth away. And yet Pep can't put Fulham away. And he's going crazy that they finally got a PK in the 95th minute, which was almost saved. That was not a good PK.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess since we're talking the PK, we might as well talk the foul anyway, which for me, that's something VAR has got to catch. Like, I get the defender's foot hits De Bruyne's foot, but is there enough force in that to cause him to like spin and fall like he just got shot? I don't think so. I mean, you gotta keep everything in context here a little bit. Like, and like I've said before, you slow it down and like you can make it look however you want it to look when it's slowed down. But like real time, you watch it through, and all of a sudden, De Bruyne is just spinning in the air and falling. Like,
it's one of those plays where instant replay just makes it look so much worse. And that's true for all sports, all injuries, it makes a goal look more impressive. But the initial judgment, I feel like, is so key for those late. I wish VAR like went away for certain calls at the end of a game like that. Not so much like out of bounds or over the goal line, but just like a tackle that's so close, to then see it in instant replay in slow motion and really break down every fraction of a second within it can just make it look so much worse. So I don't know. I'm more about the inconsistency of handballs. That's my biggest gripe this season. The tackles, those could go either way for me. We've seen that kind of happen this season, especially with goalkeepers and what they're ruling a foul and what's a PK and so on and so forth. But the handballs, that's what's getting out of control with me, is when the arms are flying up. This happened, I can't remember what game it was, but Chris and I were watching a game where an arm went up when someone was jumping, and we kind of had like the disagreement on like what's the natural position of your arm when you're in the air. Sure, when you jump, you're lifting up your arms, but does your arm need to be, you can't see it on that screen, but does your arm need to be like this far out with your elbow? Does it need to be? No, but could it be? Like, yes. So there's such a gray area for it, and it's so frustrating to see calls go one way for one player and one way for another, and another team gets calls that others don't. That's my biggest problem. And we can probably go through so many replays too of these scenarios where it's like PK or no PK. We should play that game, Chad. That would actually be pretty fun. We'll find all handball replays and we'll decide if it's a PK or not. That'll be good. We'll have to find something to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, like back to De Bruyne, just kind of like he sells it, and I get the call at the end of the day, but like, I feel like probably Liverpool fans have felt the past few seasons where it's like you're finally looking at City to drop points, and then lo and behold, something right at the end happens and they keep the 3 points, and you're just like, why? It's that close.
Drop points.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Before the Arsenal game started on Sunday, Kristen saw the table. She goes, "Why does it say Arsenal second?" And I was like, "They haven't played yet." She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I forgot." I was like, "Don't worry." I was like, "It's not fair," but yeah, they're there for just to stay. Anything more to say on that game?
I don't think so. I mean,
business as usual.
Yeah.
And Holland didn't play the whole game either, so like,
Yeah. I mean, should he have to against Fulham? Probably not.
No, but I mean, what? For after next weekend, he won't be playing in a league match until when? When do they come back? December 20th? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
The Alvarez goal, though, that was a banger.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That was a sweet goal.
Threw some power on it, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. So, yeah, that's cool. I'm down to move on there. Forest and Brentford, that was a pretty hype match.
Yeah.
I want to compare Forest to who did I see play the other day? Forest to Southampton, because oh man, they're both bad, but one is bad because they didn't spend money, and one is bad because they spent money on a bunch of randos that with no resume. And does chemistry matter? Yes. Does buying great players matter? Yes. But which is better? Chemistry? Perfect chemistry with a team of scrubs, or no chemistry with a team of, we'll call them solid Bs?
I mean,
because that's what it is. That's Forest.
Yeah.
And that's South. I mean, maybe Southampton doesn't have the chemistry, but that's just playing in my scenario here.
Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta. I mean, yeah, ideally you're finding the balance between those two, but I think you would probably lean more towards the chemistry, right? Because if you look at like when Liverpool started to really come up, they weren't buying huge name players, like well-known players, just solid players that, fit the role they needed. And then, chemistry built up, and, the better the chemistry, the more everyone plays, right? Like it. So I think you'd probably lean that way. And, Forest, when you go out and buy 20 something players in the transfer window, like, I don't know if at any point in the season you'll get down that starting 11 and that chemistry will be good.
Was it was like 130 million?
Something like that, yeah.
10
Which
points.
is like
around 10 points in 14 games.
It's not bad to spend that much money on a handful of players, but maybe you could have tried to get like some more notable names or more experienced players in there to, I don't know, help with some leadership at least. Because I don't know, it's just like from what I saw that game, it seems like Forrest wanted to play, but I think just the chemistry or something, just they don't quite click yet. They kind of reminded me of like Everton early in this season, where it's just like everyone is a little bit on a different page.
That was easily the most mad I've seen Henderson. Did you see after that goal scored when I thought he was going to kick it right? I was like, if he would have hit him, that would have been pretty interesting to see how it unfolded.
I mean, he got a yellow for that foul. So I mean, had it hit someone, he probably would have probably a second yellow, right?
I think he wanted to be tossed. I think he was his positioning was so bad on that second goal that was scored. I think he was just mentally kind of tapped out. And that might be the case for most of these players. That team probably needs this break the most.
They could probably really benefit.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine too many of them are going to the World Cup.
I wouldn't think so.
Niakate's going. Off the top of my head though, that's Ben Johnson, I think, is going from Wales. But again, like select few here and there, not anyone that's going to like make a difference for them. The first goal that they scored, though, I believe was a deflection off of me. That was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. I watched that at first and was like, well, damn. And then I saw the deflection. I was like,
yeah, me too. I was like, that's unfortunate. Because I thought he played it pretty good. He just, the ricochet kind of did him dirty there. So again, not too much happening in that game. Anything notable you want to say about it?
I think it was Brentford's first goal was the chip over Henderson. I like that one. You don't see chips all too often, and he took that down pretty well and didn't have too much time to decide to chip him, and pretty clean chip. So.
Henderson was pretty pissed.
Wow.
I think he definitely he left his line when he saw his center back. I don't know who was playing in front of him. I don't remember which back it was, but he was on his heels. And as soon as he saw him kind of shoulder to shoulder with the player, but on his heels, he stepped up because he knew he wasn't going to be able to turn around and get to the ball fast enough. And then no man's land, easy chip.
There you go. Yeah.
Did him pretty dirty. But I don't know. I like to see some emotion out of Dean. He didn't wear his hat. And
I don't know what it's going to take for this guy to realize he needs to always wear a hat.
Summer.
At least get him a little. It was a rainy weekend. Wear a little visor at least to block some rain.
Maybe he wants, because he has a good set of hair. So maybe, I like the visor idea. As soon as next week's game, and that's when we're going to start backtracking to see hat versus no hat. But again, only like 2 games, maybe 3 stand out to when he wore a hat. But that's definitely
it's not often, but it seems to be always those games. He lights it up, Yep.
Okay, I want to just bounce one game down before we go back to Wolverhampton and Brighton. I want to go Leicester-Everton because this is a team chemistry that is now building and forming and blossoming.
Where did this come from?
Tielemans' goal of the week.
Oh, easy.
Oh my
God.
What was that? I mean, and then seeing Madison, dude, I'm not even kidding. I have goosebumps on my arms just talking about this because I don't want to say I'm jealous of Leicester now, but the way I'm seeing James Maddison and Harvey Barnes high five after their great build up, I'm just like, oh, like Liverpool doesn't really have that like inside the box build up yet. It's coming. Yeah. It's close. Yeah. But that was pretty sweet team goal. And
I mean, it seemed like everything was kind of going through Maddison this game. Like, and even himself, I think he had like 8 shots. I don't think anything was on target, but like somewhere close. But like, I mean, yeah, they're really coming together.
Is Leicester selling now? Because what, a month and a half ago, I was like, sell the squad, sell everyone. Now,
Yeah.
like, they ain't gonna sell Madison. They're coming up.
I mean, yeah, now they're in kind of that weird spot of like, you aren't really fighting for relegation anymore. You're like looking more and more promising as the weeks go by. Like, so you're gonna want to hang on to people. I mean, that said, I know Tielemans is, I think, out of contract next summer, so like he might go in January, or at least I'm sure he's talking to people in clubs at least. But I mean, yeah, I think if you're Leicester, you got to try and hang on to Madison at least, because like I said, everything was going through him. He was, almost every highlight included him in the build-up or the assist, or just causing things to happen.
He's playing out of his mind. So here's their last 6. Bournemouth beats Leicester 2-1. And I think that was probably a season low.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, Crystal Palace 0-0. Next game, Leeds 2-0. Leicester wins. Next game, 4-0. Leicester wins against Wolverhampton. Next game, they lose to City 1-0. That's like
respectable,
absolutely. And then following, they beat Everton 2-0. So now they sit above Everton, West Ham, who else? Bournemouth, who unfortunately just lost to, and then the 3 in the relegation zone in the table. So
yeah, I mean, it's
bright.
not. Yeah, it's not your ideal start to the season, but especially if they win this next week too. Like, I think you're going into the World Cup break in a decent spot. Like, you can still kind of salvage something out of the season, probably.
It would surprise me if they make top 6. Anything is possible, but top 10 is realistic for them.
Mm-hmm.
Considering Palace is sitting 10th, Fulham 9th. The top 8 race is pretty crazy. But yeah, I would shoot for top 10, and now I see it being realistic. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. 2 months ago, we were like, they're going to get relegated. Like, this is the year. But the Brendan Rodgers chemistry build has been, fun to watch now. They're not a must-watch team, but they're enjoyable at this point. They're not miserable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, how many times in those early weeks did we, like, talk about the Leicester game? And, yeah, they would score a goal or two and then just, like, give it up. And it's like...
It's crazy.
I don't know what switch got flipped.
Vardy,
but
I don't think Vardy's playing as much.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps. But I mean, even beyond that, like, everyone else is just playing better all of a sudden, which, good for them. But it seems to have come out of nowhere.
I think I forgot to tell you this last week, but Soyeon Chu found the pitch.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Rodgers played him. He didn't play this last week, but
well, good to know he's still alive. Yeah,
he is there. So yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, Everton. I was kind of, I don't want to say bummed because I'm not an Everton fanboy, but James Tarkowski, another 5 blocks for the man. That's insane.
That dude he knows where to throw his body and block those shots.
He's second in our league right now for points. And almost 40% of his points, I think he's sitting on 100, 40% are blocks.
Sheesh.
That's no one's close to that number.
So is he worth taking to the World Cup?
Well, let's think about this. England center backs. You got Stones. You got
Maguire.
You got Maguire.
Eric Dyer.
Rough game.
Yeah.
Cody's there.
You think so?
Well, I'm saying Cody is English and a center back.
Okay.
Could be there. Mings has had a pretty poor season, so
yeah. See, but like no 2 of those seem like such a standout that Tarkowski couldn't make it. I don't know that he will, because Gareth Southgate seems to have like sticks with his players sort of thing, but
Is Maguire really going to be his guy?
Probably.
That's crazy.
But I mean, you look at Tarkowski, like he's maybe not as much of like the ball playing center back that you would want in like a modern team, but defensively he's fairly solid. He's
right place, right time.
Gets the blocks, gets the clearances. Like he's not afraid to throw his body around. So I don't know. Maybe you take him, and if you need him, you use him. But I don't know. Something to think about.
Chris Smalling from Roma might get the nod. I've heard really good things of what he's doing over there with Mourinho. But yeah, other than that, I guess could Ben White shift into center back?
I mean, yeah, like he's kind of naturally a center back, but this season's played right back.
Right.
But I mean, he wasn't called up in like the last international breaks. So I don't know. Like everyone's kind of thinking he might sneak in because I think Kyle Walker's out with an injury.
Yep. No
Reese. So it's just like kind of Trent is your like go-to on that side, and then so maybe Ben White will come in as like a backup, or can kind of cover both positions in that back line. So
a shout out Trent Alexander-Arnold for getting his first shot blocked this year. just want to say that because he doesn't throw his body on the line. So
no,
he did one time this weekend.
That's it. He's coming up. He's realized he's got to sacrifice himself for the team.
I'm glad he finally figured it out. So yeah, easy dub for Leicester. Everton had no attacking presence.
No, they just
been there.
It just seemed like sloppy. Nothing really like worked, I guess. And I know, I think Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin had got into some really good positions and just like missed.
Yeah, Iwobi, he's been playing really good, but I think he's just trying to do too much. And I think that's because he thinks he has to, probably because he does. I mean, Everton doesn't have like a great, again, attacking presence, so it's something he kind of has to do. Brighton, though. Can we talk about Brighton?
Oh, Brighton.
Brian's is in front of Chelsea in the table now. I've been waiting for this day for so long.
Oof. I mean,
is this the biggest mistake a coach has ever made, to leave a team for a top 6 team and then get beat out by his former team? Has that ever happened before?
I don't know, but mistake, I don't know if I'd call it a mistake, because like from Potter's point of view, like he wants to progress his career, and you get offered this well-paid top 6, big 6 team position, so like you kind of have to take it. But it's not a good look when you are now under your former team.
Do you think he's losing sleep over this, is what I should have asked.
I
bet he has.
Probably. I mean, he was at Brighton for a good few years. Like he was, kind of in the dumps with them and brought them up to their like most successful seasons. So it's like you probably still feel some sort of attachment to that club, and then to like not only lose to them recently, but now fall below them in the table is like, I don't know if you would think that you made a mistake, but maybe you like kind of are nostalgic for like what you had there.
I mean, I would be. He's going. I mean, what if Brighton beats out Chelsea for either Champions League or the Europa spot?
Oof.
That's not a good look. That's not a good look for Potter.
I think if that happens, he's probably gone.
That's a hot take. Because I do believe they want someone long term who can at least build a chemistry, a culture. Different ownership. We probably won't see this 2-year plan that they've kind of had in the past. At least that's my guess. They want to be a City. They want to be a Liverpool. They want to have these long tenured coaches.
Yeah. Do you know? Because it's the same guy that owns the Dodgers, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Do you know? Like, I mean, it's a little bit different. Like, do they cycle through coaches a lot, or
no? I can't tell you how long their coach has been with the Dodgers, but it has been Oh, I at least want to say off the top of my head a decade.
Okay. So yeah, I mean,
I lied. It's 2016 is when he started, but still,
that's pretty good. And like to not like they're successful, but like not in the World Series every year. So it's like they have their down seasons. So
okay, but they also the Dodgers have the highest budget in the league every single year, $310 million payroll, and have only won one World Series in the last 6 years. So to call it a success is borderline. But again,
yeah,
we'll focus on Chelsea here.
Yeah. I mean, as a football fan, I would hope that these clubs see that it's often worth it to stick with a manager and like let them fully implement their ideas and tactics and stuff. And it's not every team is going to be a Manchester City. Like you kind of have to almost remove them from your perspective of a successful season, because like when Arsenal lost to United earlier this season, everyone was like freaking out and saying, like we can't be dropping points if we want to win, and like fair, but like a normal like championship winning side will lose games. It's just that City and Liverpool in the past few seasons have been able to like do this with like minimal losses and like hit like 100 points and stuff. Like that's crazy. That's not normal.
It's truly one unheard of, and like a blessing that we went through these seasons of just like barely losing, but then not even winning it in the end. When any other year this would be like you win by match 29.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's bonkers. But
yeah,
I guess
so I mean I think Potter could be good to build the club around and stuff.
I just wish it could have been Brighton. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I love small markets.
Yeah, and I think he was doing so well with them, especially this season. Like, it would have been nice to maybe just see out this season with them and see where they end up, and if it's the same old, kind of mid-table or whatever, then okay, move on. But like, I get jumping at the opportunity to move on to a bigger club and get paid probably much more.
Yeah, it's like I'm not knocking the move. I'm more knocking the timing of it.
Yeah,
and what he was building. I mean, he could have passed that down to somebody in a more natural, fluid way, but instead it was just like cut it off,
gone. Yeah,
and now they're they're kind of paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, speaking on the game, it was kind of a fun watch because both Brighton and Wolves are kind of in that weird like transitional like in between managers / like just getting the new manager. So it's tactically, I think, a little bit weird. Like they don't really know what their game plan is yet. So I think that's probably why you end up with a scoreline of 2-3. Like there's just some moments where people kind of forget their duty or don't realize the position they should be in. And but I mean, entertaining for a neutral fan.
No, fun game. The first goal scored, I'm probably going to botch his pronunciation of his name, Goncalo Guedes. But hey, did you...
Sounds great.
That goal, though, the balance that he had while running was incredible. I mean, he wasn't balanced at all, but his... it's hard to call it stability. I don't know, center of gravity stayed there, and he was still able to get power off on his shot. That was incredible. That would have been my goal of the week if context meant a little more. I just couldn't believe he scored.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, once I saw him stumbling, I was like, good opportunity wasted. But then he still gets his powerful shot on. I was like, how?
Insane. Yeah, super fun goal. Trossard is still playing lights out.
Yeah.
He's just setting everyone up.
I think, I don't know if he's in that Argentina squad for the World Cup, but like...
Belgium.
Is he Belgian?
It's Belgian, yeah. Trossard? Fact check.
Yeah. Thought he was Argentine.
No, you're thinking of McAllister.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thinking of McAllister.
Well, still, dude's looking better than Lukaku, so maybe throw Trossard up top. And
we don't want to talk about Lukaku. You know who he reminds me of?
Hmm.
Is Dries Mertens.
Yeah.
Very similar build, similar play style. I can't say if he's better. We didn't get to really watch Mertens too much when he was in Italy, so it's hard to like really say what his, his overall gameplay was like. But I remember seeing Trossard the last couple of years. This is the one that the spotlight's on him now. Like he is the man at Brighton, and then seeing him set up Lallana too. Like I was like, oh,
it was great to see Lallana.
I know, he was pumped on his goal.
I heard his name and I was like, I didn't even realize he was still playing. Like,
yep. So, if I was Belgium, I'd take him. I mean, it's what they're not going to have Eden Hazard, right? I don't think he's fit enough. I
don't know. Yeah, you take him anyway, just because he could be.
They'll take Thorgan, his brother.
Yeah,
he's been playing pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what strikers they really take. Because they're scattered across the country. Because
what you got, Lukaku, Origi,
Bats,
Batshuayi. Yeah.
Where is he? Valencia? Where is he right now?
I have no idea. You have Carrasco, but he's more of a winger.
He's on the wing. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Benteke, is he in MLS?
I have no idea.
One more Google search before we let our minds rest because they're focusing too much on Belgium now. But I'm pretty sure Benteke is playing for DC United.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
I didn't hear much about him, so must have not went well.
Nothing special this year from him. But all right, segue into Chelsea Arsenal. Look at that. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got to watch the game this morning, and it felt like one of those games where it's like a title contending team versus just like a top 6 team. Like it Arsenal is just stronger and like had a more complete performance, I think, throughout the whole game. Like
easily the better team, the full easily.
I didn't take down the expected goals, but it was something like, I think Chelsea was like 0.28 and Arsenal was like 2 point something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But
that is awful.
Yeah, it was not good.
That's pretty terrible. While you search for that, I just want to note Martinelli might be the fastest human I've ever seen on a soccer pitch. I cannot believe the one line you said to Kristen, the rocket boots. Whenever he runs, I think she just says like rocket shoes. I'm like, it's rocket boots. She's like, oh yeah, rocket boots.
Yeah, for real though, that kid has just like insane acceleration, and I don't know what his top sprint speed is, but like he gets there so quick.
It's incredible. It's so fun to watch.
So XG for Chelsea was 0.24. For Arsenal is 2.38.
Oh my god, they're so bad.
So, I mean, it's the same thing we've been saying about Chelsea all season. They just they don't create anything. They don't have anyone doing that duty. Like,
so what is Potter doing? Why did they bring this man in?
I don't know that Tuchel was the issue, right? Like, you bring in a new manager and
is Potter tripping, dog?
Someone over there is tripping for sure. I don't know. From the Arsenal perspective, it was, I think, a good performance from the team, and defensively, I think we looked like really solid and shut Aubameyang out of the game, and even like Mason Mount just didn't do much. Kai Havertz, I think, had a look or two, but he's not really your goal scoring striker or anything, so he just doesn't really have the finish on him. But like, I don't know. Like this is the third season in a row that Arsenal have gone to Chelsea and won.
It's pretty impressive considering the last 3 seasons Arsenal really wasn't anything special.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
They're
like,
Arsenal, but it wasn't like what this season is, turning into.
Yeah, and it just it's that weird kind of like London derby, but is it though? Like Arsenal's kind of had your number now for a few seasons, and
Kristen never felt nervous watching this game, and she's been into it, and so like
yeah,
as a neutral, like I didn't really care. I wanted Arsenal to win like I want Arsenal to keep up with City. That's basically my goal right now. Is like keep winning, don't let City win. But just like I never felt like Chelsea was going to win that game ever.
No. There was like brief little moments where they broke through a little bit, or like Arsenal had a little defensive error and stuff. But like beyond that, where are your goals coming from? Like I think Aubameyang had his first shot in the first few minutes of the second half. Like,
wow.
Which, that's the Aubameyang that left Arsenal. So like, I don't know what Chelsea thought they were buying.
he his stint wasn't terrible at Barcelona, but again, like La Liga's defenders aren't playing like, Premier League defenders. They're a lot smaller. Yeah. It's not as rough. It's not as cold. Mm-hmm. A week ago we did say that Chelsea needs to start having a true number 9. And with this happening this week, I think we were totally wrong. I think they're screwed. We've had a lot of good points and like a lot of like, oh, like we said that and it happened and look at that. That was one of them where I don't think there's a fixable outcome. What'd you think of Aubameyang's tackle on Ben White? Little like, remember me?
I mean, it was like a iffy tackle, like, but I think it's just kind of like a striker's tackle, right? Like,
yeah, it was a lot of technique and coordination going into that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing as last week, but like, Saka's getting kicked every damn game so many times, and like the people that kick him don't get a foul called on them or even a yellow card. Like Cucurella is just like kicking the kid and like barging into his back, and it's just no issue. And it's like there's I think it was like match of the day or something for this week, was talking about, is Saka like starting to dive more or something? And it's like you watch that kid play, and it's like he's riding a lot of challenges, and then the ones that you like barge through his back or like like push him off the ball, he's gonna go down because he wants to get the foul. But like I've not seen enough of like a dive from him to be like, ooh, he's picking up a bad habit or anything. Just I don't like saying that certain players need protection, but like you can't just keep letting these players get kicked and like no repercussions for it. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to the game. It ruins the flow, and I don't know. It's getting frustrating to watch.
2 points I want to make. Welcome to what I've been living through with Mo Salah these last couple of years. So welcome. I'm glad you found this passion in hating how much people will just stab their heels over and over and over again. And that I feel like remember when Sergio Ramos hurt Salah back in the day, because Salah just doesn't want to give up. And I feel like since that day, he's been a lot more lenient on when he needs to go down or when he's not going to like put his body on the line for a certain situation, because he's like, that time finally broke me, and broke me pretty bad. So it's Saka's younger than Salah when all this was going down, so he'll probably continue to put up a fight. But once he gets to, he's 21 right now.
I'm pretty sure.
He's 21 or 22, but Salah, when that Champions League was happening, was around 28. And then now he's 30. He's right around 30 years old. So, like his body's taking a lot more of a punishment, especially since he's gotten better. And Osaka's already, pretty good, he's going to have to figure out pretty quickly, like, he just can't, his body will not be able to hold up how it is holding up right now as we get further down the line. My second point is Cucurella is becoming one of my most hated players in the Premier League now. One, because that stupid dive he had when Saka tackled him. Like, dude, come on, man. Like, he barely caught you. Just caught him worse than he caught you, and you're acting like it's the end of the world. And two, when he was hugging Xhaka in the box, I couldn't believe it.
He just stands there.
I couldn't believe it. That was crazy.
That was just like, I get sticking with your man, but like, had he just like pulled off, I think he blocks the ball. Like, it passes right behind him.
and that was when the goal was scored, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Karma. I'm a firm believer in karma, and that was just like, mwah. Like, yep. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't. And what is a ref looking at when he's looking in the box and he calls these like little I don't know, ticky-tacky fouls if one person bumps shoulders, going that way. This guy's straight hugging him. Crazy. I'm surprised Xhaka didn't like blow up. I like, out of all guys to hug, that's the one you're gonna do.
It was, I guess, kind of just weird for both of them, right? Like, neither one reacted. It was just like, we're just here. This is fine.
I don't know if there's an angle of the front side of the hug. Do you know if there is? Because I only saw the back side, whereas Cucurella's back to the camera. I would love to see the other side and looking at Xhaka's face, because I'm sure he's like, what's he doing?
Yeah, I think the back side's pretty much the like clearest one. The other one has like a bunch of other players moving in front and stuff. But
that's all I really want to say. Just like, if anything stood out in the game, it was that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You spend $60 million on Cucurella, you got to play him, but I don't know if he was worth all that money.
Not right now. And Ben Chilwell now is out.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more of Cucurella on the left-hand side, which,
yeah. I do want to shout out Gabriel Jesus, though. Hasn't scored in a handful of games.
It's been a little bit.
But I feel like he's playing that Firmino role, where it's like he almost plays as like another number 10 and then tries to get into the box and like make things happen. Because he had something like 62 touches today, and like if you look at the map of his touches, it's like all over the pitch, and you know, he's dropping back deep and still getting in the box, and like he had a header from pretty much like 6 yards out that like probably should have at least got on target, but he's just, as I watch him play, he's reminding me of Firmino, just kind of all around the pitch, like starting things and completing attacking phases and stuff. And I would assume that's, you know, a tactical thing, and clearly Arsenal are not hurting for goals in the whole squad, so him not scoring is not like the end of the world, like past seasons where Aubameyang stopped scoring and you're just like, where did the goals come from now? So yeah, it's been kind of fun to watch him, and like it would be nice if he gets a few more goals, but you know, he's still he's still contributing so much, and you know, he just puts in so much hard work for the team, and like he's getting some haters out there now because he hasn't scored in a little bit, but like it's more than just the goals, you know. And you know, Arsenal's still winning, so it's like, you know, the day doesn't really matter if he scored or not.
That's funny you brought that up, because I was just going to say he had 2 effective clearances today, which he like doubled his total for this season. So it just shows like his what's the right word? Diversity on the pitch, where he can kind of be anywhere right now, and like know someone can easily go into the role that he was into. I mean, he's playing with a great attacking force. You know, Odegaard's playing great. Saka's playing great. Martinelli's awesome. So good place to be for him. 5 goals, 5 assists on the season. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Not bad. You know, 13 games in to be 5-5. That's a good return. So.
Solid. Any more on that? Congrats on still being top of the table. I think we're just gonna keep doing this for a couple more weeks. Well, at least one more week, and then you gotta hold that position for a while.
I mean, yeah, if they can go into the World Cup break top of the table, like, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. So keep it rolling. They look good again. They had that little period where things were a little bit shaky and stuff, but I think this game was a little bit like not like a rejuvenating game, but maybe one that I don't know, kind of like calmed their nerves or something about how good they are, because like you're coming away to Chelsea and like they're a Big Six team, so it's like, you know, a bigger game, and to get the win in that fashion, and just like, you know, I don't know if you saw any of the full-time celebrations, but like they were all loving it. They're all over there dancing and jumping in front of the fans and everything. So
Gabby smiles so big.
Big Gabby.
Yeah, Big Gabby. Thank you. I don't know what do you guys call him, but his smile was radiating. So
he's got those Firmino teeth, you know,
those pearly whites.
Those Brazilians have like their dentist, and they're like, "Yo, you got money now? Go to this guy."
For real, it's the Jurgen Klopp dentist. All right, I want to talk about let's go from my least favorite to my most favorite Sunday games after Arsenal. West Ham, Crystal Palace. For me, kind of a snooze fest. Didn't watch it, just watched the full match highlights.
I just thought Crystal Palace looked hungrier. Like they wanted to win more than West Ham did, and it worked.
Susek getting subbed out in the 60s was like, gosh, I want to say the first time that man has been subbed out in a long time.
Yeah.
Ben Rama for West Ham has been playing so good. He had to get taken out of that game. I don't have the exact minute in front of me here, but he's now hurt. So, and that's been like their guy.
Okay,
so that's definitely
his goal was
concerning.
pretty nice.
His goal was really nice. He's been
wrote a few challenges and
he's
still bangs it. So
yeah, he's been kind of lighting it up. So that's rather unfortunate. I guess it's probably a plus they go into this break, and you can kind of rest him. I don't think he's going to the World Cup. He's Algerian.
Oh,
I believe. Might want to fact check me on that. But anyway, Susek getting subbed out. That was like, I don't know. It's just weird, man. That guy's a workhorse and like kind of your best player in my mind.
he is Algerian.
Algerian, sweet. But did you see Samaka's reaction when he scored?
No,
go back and watch it. I'm pretty sure he scored, and Samaka's like, ooh, like that, like in the middle of the pitch. He didn't even move. I don't think he was celebrating. He just made that reaction. And they have Palace, Zaha, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets moved in the transfer window. Their second goal is kind of weird deflection.
It was just like the Nottingham Forest goal, where it was like initially I was like, oh damn, and then
for real.
Saw the replay, I was like, oh. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see too much more in that game. Like, Crystal Palace just wanted it more, and there you go.
Well, then let's segue to this. Newcastle just wants everything, and they're crazy freaking good.
Look, it's another week, another goal for Miguel Almiron.
Is he the best player in the league?
Best player in the league? Oof.
I'm not. That's a big overreaction, but he is playing with crazy confidence.
Oh yeah. He's definitely at in peak form right now, and I mean, just every week he's getting one goal, and this week goal was good, not as much of a banger as previous weeks, but hey, goals are what count. So,
how many goals do you think he scored this year?
I want to say maybe 6 or 7.
He's at 8.
Oh dang! Okay,
he's kind of he's kind of killing it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Top 5 goals right now. Holland, which we all know. It's whatever. Kane 11, Mitrovic 9, Tony 8, and Almiron 8.
Wow. So, okay.
When's the last time a Newcastle striker was in top 5?
Well, and that's the thing. He's plays on the wing. Like they don't even have their
for real.
big star signing striker right now. Like,
that's so crazy, dude. They're down. They're like two best players right now. St. Maximin did come in late into the game. Wasn't a difference maker in any way. That game was already over by the time he got on. Mm-hmm. John Joe Selby's in there. Did you see the Newcastle fans in the little pub with all their bald caps? So good. I was like, at first I was like, what are they doing? I was like, oh, they're John Joe. I was like, that's fantastic. Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw of Southampton, like they looked a little sloppy, but I think they really just lack quality. Like they didn't seem to play terribly up until the later parts of the game, but I just
Bella Kopchak looked kind of lost.
Yeah, I mean, first game back, it's a little rusty.
Yeah.
But I just want to know why Nick Pope hates clean sheets ever since I picked him up in fantasy. Like, I think I've gotten one from him since I picked him up.
It's not like he's having to make too many saves now because Newcastle's quality.
Yeah, it just
he made 7 still, so still not bad.
Okay, yeah.
But again, 4 saves, 2 claims, 1 punch. So, he's doing a little extra work on the other side. But Newcastle, man, they're rolling. I think they're just going to continue to roll. They play Crystal Palace. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, they play Chelsea next.
Oof. I think that should be an easy win for them, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, easy is, with Chelsea, anything could not be easy real fast, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they'll be fine. Okay, second favorite match from Sunday besides the Arsenal game. The Emery season has started, Chad.
Emery ball is back, baby.
How excited was that game?
Oh my gosh, they just tore him apart. No one wanted to defend on United. Like
they looked awful. And I'm here for it. I got to watch most of that game. And we walked into this little breakfast place or whatever, and we came in at like the 20th minute or something. I looked up and I was like, oh, 2-0. I was like, I did one of those like what? Yeah. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it.
And that was like 10 minutes into the game.
So it was so fast. I hope this is the new Aston Villa that can stick around and but beating Man United with that's so good. Ronaldo is so frustrated, and then he got his yellow, and then it just kept getting worse. And I was like, oh,
you see him and Mings with their little wrestling match? Yeah. Like, what the hell is that?
Ever since he got his little ban from the club, he's been starting, and I'm like, is that from the higher ups saying
probably? I mean, they're paying him some stupid amount to be there, so
dumb.
But I mean, I think United look better without him starting at least. I
agree.
I don't know.
Everyone's hurt. They got a lot. Their injury list is pretty crazy.
Is it? I mean, I guess he can't do too much, but he just.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Dalot injured. Anthony injured. Bruno Fernandes 5 yellow card suspension. Sancho injured. Don't know who Brandon Williams is. And then Varane injured. Oof. So,
Yeah, but I mean, so Rashford wasn't on the list. You can start him as striker. And then, I don't know, do something else than Ronaldo because...
Figure it out.
I don't know that Ronaldo is actually washed, but being in the Premier League this season, he definitely looks washed.
2 years ago, the Messi and Ronaldo debate, I still feel like was pretty even. I think, unless you're some weird Ronaldo fanboy, that has shifted 99% to 1%.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want Messi on their team right now?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's so
I don't
crazy.
know.
But it makes sense. The longevity of your body with speed, pace, jumping, father time will catch up to you. And Messi wasn't about that. He was about finesse and control, and his body's going to last longer. That's just, it just makes sense. That's pretty natural. Man, you sucked.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Do you see Martinez with the couple elbows on.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I mean, can we at least get a VAR check on that or what? The initial he kind of backs into him to shield the ball. It's heavy, but I'm good with it. I'm okay with that. But then to actually physically throw the elbow back, we cool with that now? That's just part of the game these days, or what?
I'm a big I love watching Argentina play in the World Cup, but there's always those defenders for them that I just don't like. The Otamendi's.
Yeah.
The Martinez is now going to be on that list. So will I root for Messi to get this World Cup if things don't go well for the United States? Maybe. But I just hate dirty players like this who do it kind of just on purpose. It just looks like it's on purpose.
Well, I think that one definitely was
it wasn't hidden. It wasn't like a sneaky.
Yeah, ball is out of play, and you guys are just kind of falling out of play with it, and then you throw this other elbow, and I don't know. I would assume you'd get at least a good check from VAR on that, and you got so many cameras on these players, you see it.
It's crazy, dude. Again, that's another questionable. Why isn't that looked at more? Why is that not the focal point of VAR?
Yeah.
So many questions. But I only have one real answer. 2-0. Liverpool. I was so happy. I didn't get to watch this game. So I had to do the good old who scored notifications. And man, did Salah come through with those finishes. And I must say, Nunez finally figured out he can pass the ball to him and he will shoot and score. Nunez has figured out he draws gravity. People come to him. He's like a magnet, and then he can just dump it off. This is what this team has been missing this whole year. This is exactly why the Mane and Salah chemistry between each other works so well, is because they pulled defenders off of each other and just allowed this angles on angles on angles of shots, and Nunez that finally figured it out on that first goal. I think 3 or 4 defenders had eyes on him and were already taking one step towards him, and Salah was just in the middle of the box. Closest defender maybe a yard and a half away. A good amount of space for him to just one touch bang. Get in, son.
I mean, look, to celebrate this Salah achievement.
Oh, there it is.
We got to use the new emotes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, we've seen in the past games, Darwin just either didn't see or didn't want to pass to Salah when he was wide open, and I'm sure Klopp every day at training was just harping on him, kind of the same thing you were saying. You have the ball, you're gonna draw defenders to you. This guy's gonna be open. Just feed him the ball. We score. We move on. And it works perfectly. Salah is still a great player. He's a lethal finisher. Get him the ball without 3 guys defending him. That's going in.
Made me so happy. I just went fucking finally. Finally. I don't know if you saw the video that came out this last week, but it was Salah and Nunez talking. And then Nunez just goes, I don't know what you just said. It was just the face I just made was pretty much what Nunez did. I'm just I think there's such a huge language barrier between most of the club and him where it's just going to take time. And that's fine. Growing pains, we'll get past it. But just seeing that video just made me be okay, this guy there's a huge learning curve for the language and how, I can't imagine going into a team not speaking their language and we need you to do this, this, and this. And you're just that's crazy.
I put ball in net. Okay.
No pass.
Yeah, it's got to be so difficult, and one of those weird situations where it's you're surrounded by people, but you kind of still feel alone. You don't have any clear way to communicate with people. So, credit to Darwin for sticking with it and finally kind of figuring it out, whether he's learned English better or just kind of they showed
chemistry.
him better.
Could be chemistry. Just it takes time. The second goal was a gift.
Yeah.
Still clinical finish by Salah.
Lovely pass from Derek Dyer.
What was he doing? Did he? Watching it looked like he just missed it with his head. He didn't get the right part of his head on the ball. But did he think he was a lot closer? Like what?
He must have.
But usually, at least when I played, when my defender is looking to head it towards me, I'm screaming at them.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, sound effects way different for that stadium. But I don't know. You can usually hear your keeper saying head it back, or away.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a head it back, but he needed to put 5 times the amount of power on that to even maybe get it to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he got the call or what, but I mean, yeah, it should have been just a clear planted, strong enough header that there's no question about this ball is getting to my goalkeeper. But Liverpool will take it. Salah will take it.
I'm good with it. And then Conte, Klopp beef. I think Conte just has beef with everyone. I think he just starts to I don't like him. Blah, 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 blah.
I think he just.
Did you see exactly what it was?
Yeah, it was really a nothing situation that Conte just freaked out about. I get they were down and they wanted to put the ball back into play quickly, and I think it was one of Conte's assistant coaches had a ball to hand to I don't know, whatever player was going to throw it in, but then one of Klopp's assistants had a ball that he was just holding out for someone to take, and I don't know, Conte didn't like that. Thought he was wasting time, so stomped over there. It's out of his hand. Yeah, come on. I get your team was not playing well, especially in that first half, and you probably are frustrated, but is that how you rile up your team?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm happy he's not my coach. That's all I have to really say.
Yeah.
That's all I got really for that game. Hey, business as usual. Taking out the Spurs. We can agree on that one.
It's good. I mean, I think we do have to say that Liverpool did have to kind of suffer through this match in the second half. It was very much maybe the depth wasn't there for Liverpool, so some of the subs that came in didn't really
never has been.
But I think at the end of the day, it was probably a good win for Liverpool to be able to suffer through a match like that and still come away with the win. It's kind of like that when you complete the comeback, it's that fight and just desire and willing this game to end in your favor. And with how Liverpool's been this season, I think that will come away as a really good win for them on the season.
I don't think Van Dijk is playing the way that he normally plays. Konate is back, which is a huge deal.
Yeah, he looked great.
So I think him just being there to I don't know, to be maybe the focal point of the defensive scheme now is a little bit better. Virgil's not. He's saving himself for the cup. It just looks blatantly obvious. Which again, it's I'm kind of okay with that. I just wish it didn't look so obvious.
Yeah.
Because it just looks awful. And I do understand coming off a big injury from a little over a year ago, there's a lot of mental things going on in your brain saying don't get hurt, especially after seeing off the top of my head, just we'll say Chilwell going down. It's and Son and all these guys who are they might not be able to play in their first matches or at least in the group stages. So yeah, that's my only gripe. But we won. That's what matters. And beat the Spurs.
Take the points and move on.
That's right. Offensive, defensive players of the week. Should we jump in?
Yeah. Offensive, I have both Madison for the 2 assists and then Salah for the 2 goals. I mean,
I don't have either of those.
Really?
I went off of context this week.
Okay.
I went for Somerville because he's now back-to-back game winners.
Fair.
Within the 80th, I think he got his goal in the 83rd or 84th for Leeds. It's more of like a job well done. Like you just saved Leeds again 2 times, 2 weeks in a row. So that's,
84th minute this week.
84th. Okay. Yeah. So that's my play of the week. I have no problem giving it to Mo. I will have to maybe recreate an emoji. To properly give him one if we decide to take that route.
I mean, I was honestly kind of leaning a little bit more towards Madison just because he was just in every single phase of play that I saw. Like he was all over the place and kind of facilitated their attack and gets the 2 assists. But either I'd say Madison or Somerville would be good. But
I'm good with Madison. I think he deserves it. Somerville, just the one goal, game winner. It was more of a context thing for me.
Yeah.
And Solid's going to have a hat trick in his next couple of weeks, and that'll be the very obvious. It is you. So let's do James Madison. No problem with that. Defensive player. I'll start. Digne. We're gonna call him that now. Digne. His free kick was mwah. And Aston Villa is now going to roll with the Emery scheme. So,
I kind of struggled to find one this week. Defensively, I don't think anyone was a huge standout. I had Digne and got Big Gabby from Arsenal. I mean, I think that ball was going in regardless if he touched it. I don't know. I'm okay with letting him pass on this one and giving it to Digne.
I don't think we have an Aston Villa player yet.
Did we do Emi Martinez?
No. Oh, yeah, we did.
We might have.
We did. All right, well.
Yeah.
We can have it too.
Yeah.
And then we don't have a less. We have Tielemans, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever. We're just going to do it in midfield. It happens. It's going to happen more and more. Sweet. That marks that down. Goal of the week. Was it Tielemans?
Has to be.
It's crazy.
I mean,
there were so many good goals this week, though.
There were. And just the number of goals anyway scored was just a lot. But, I mean, the ball comes to him and, sets up his own little volley for himself and just perfect kick into the corner. Has to be.
Oh, so good. So good. All right, we each got our own little segment here. Actually, I just want to do part 1 of mine. There's nothing to do with my ending, but I just want to note, I found out recently that the Champions League is changing their entire format. Not this year, not next year, but the year after. Did you know about this?
I feel like I heard something about this, but I never heard.
I looked a little more into it. They're getting rid of group stages, and they're moving to Swiss style.
Swiss style?
So
what was that?
They're basically going to play every team once, and they're going to get reseeded every time they play a team. So dude, the corruption is just, look more into it. I have to do a little bit more research on it, but we have one more year after this, because I was the group stages are ended, okay, what's next? And then I saw this article saying oh, we have one more year of the group stages, and this whole thing gets changed up entirely. Part of the rumor is this has stuff to do with Super League, and this could be a thing where we could lead down that road and blah blah blah. So the new format is going to be very interesting. I think it's still going to work where there's going to be sections. It's too hard to say right now how many teams are going to be in each division, but it's basically going to be, I think, a giant pot, not a bunch of groups, but a giant pot of all the teams. And they're all going to rotate and play each other at random positions depending on who wins and who loses these games. It's going to be really out there.
Weird.
Yeah, look up Swiss style. I feel like there's another name for Swiss style, but it's basically you're just going to go around in a circle.
Yeah. Like a round robin sort of thing? Or no?
Kind of. But I think you're getting reseeded. So you're not playing, it's not round robin works for group stages because you're playing every team twice. It's not like that. You're your group is 20 teams. You're not going to play every team. You're only going to play the 7, but they reseed every time you win or lose. Dude, I don't. It does seem. I just don't bring this into the World Cup, please.
Yeah.
Okay, take it away. MLS Cup, hit me.
Yeah. Had the MLS Cup final this weekend between LAFC and Philadelphia Union. Not a huge follower of MLS, but like I poke in here and there, and especially as you get into like playoffs and stuff, like have a little more focus on it. But like, man, this was like the exact game you'd want to have as a final. It was just like crazy back and forth the whole game, like both teams going for it. They're playing in LA, so Philadelphia's far from home, but not sitting back, coming out to play.
What was the final score?
Final score is 3-3, and then went into penalties. But Philadelphia or LAFC scored around the 30th minute with like a free kick that bounced off the wall in. So it was like,
wait, bounced off the wall. Oh,
yeah.
Whoa, really?
Dude jumps up, and instead of just like holding his ground, he like turns, and as he's turning, it like hits off his back and shoots the other direction of the keeper. And it's like, gotta stand your ground, man. And then it kind of sat there until I have it here, like the 59th minute. Philadelphia finally gets one back, and then it's like, all right, like game on, plenty of time left. And then still just back and forth the whole time. LAFC gets kind of a scrappy goal, takes the lead at the 83rd minute. People getting excited, getting a little nervous too.
2-1 to LA.
2-1 to LA. 85th minute. 85th minute, Philadelphia gets one back off of like their own just like kind of scrappy goal, and it's like this can go either way, obviously. Like both teams are just throwing everything out there. And I think it was like the 95th minute or something, like LAFC had a really, really good look and probably should have scored, but didn't. And then we head into extra time.
Now, does MLS do golden goal, or is it just normal, like 120 minutes?
Yeah, normal extra time, and then penalties. So pretty like standard extra time. Still, both teams going for it, but players getting tired and all that. 97th minute, Carlos Vela comes out. Gareth Bale comes in for him. Caused a little bit of nervousness in the air, I think, because you're taking out your star and putting in Bale, who's like not bad, but it's Gareth Bale.
But Bale is the extra time killer.
This is true. But then at 116 minutes, Philadelphia gets his breakaway, and it's him and the keeper for LAFC. LAFC keeper, he rushes out of his box like he's got to.
Is he outside the 18?
Gets outside the 18, slides in to get this ball, breaks his freaking ankle doing it.
Does he do it? Does he stop it?
Stops the goal from happening, gets the red card and everything, breaks his ankle in the process. So they bring in their backup keeper, who I guess has made a handful of appearances, but also side note, he used to be on Philadelphia Union, so it's like a little bit of that.
Okay.
So then we're still heading towards the 120th minute. We're into extra time. 123 minutes. Philadelphia.
How much injury time was given?
I think it was like 8 minutes.
Holy shit. Okay.
So at 123, Philadelphia scores. And, they're celebrating like they just won.
3-2.
Guys are running around doing the crying face celebration. Yeah. So, game should be over. Like, park that bus, be done with it.
But
not for Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale finds himself middle of the box. Cross comes in. Dude still got hops.
Does he
jumps
bike
up.
It? Scissor
no
kick?
bike, just ahead. Just ahead.
Okay.
Just ahead. But at 127 minutes. So, like, we just had 2 goals in added time and extra time.
What the hell?
To make this game 3-3, and we head into penalties.
I'm sniffing some karma.
So LAFC steps up first. dude skies it.
No. Who was it?
It's a rough start.
Rando?
I think it's Arango or something. One of their strikers. So, like, not the start you want.
Oh, my God.
So then, Philadelphia steps up. Backup LAFC keeper. Save.
Okay.
Good diving save. Just shuts it down.
0-0.
All right. LAFC steps up again. Sinks it. Easy peasy. And here comes Philadelphia again. Save.
Oh, their backup keeper's going to do it?
Backup keeper's going to do it. 2 saves. LAFC comes back up. Some, like, random dude they picked up just for, like, a free mid-season scores the final PK.
These guys.
Game over. Like, it was just such a crazy game and, like, exactly the entertainment you want in the final, whether you're a fan of each side or a neutral. Like, you had the highs and the lows. It was crazy.
Okay, now I'm looking at the timeline, and all I want to do is watch this game. So
yeah, you at least gotta go watch the highlights.
Okay.
Like, it's crazy.
It sounds once you said 3-3, but we were in the 80th minute. I was like, what the hell? Well, that's fantastic. I hope that gets Gareth into starting form within the World Cup. I don't know if he's actually going to get there, but this is a great segue into the Welsh segment that I want to bring up.
Yeah, perfect.
Do you know who Michael Sheen is?
The actor?
Yeah, the actor.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know he's like this is pretty new, but he is now like the Welsh soccer team's like hype man.
Is he really?
he is their hype man. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to that video that I sent you on Discord. I'm gonna bring it up on my end too, because I'm gonna listen to it as well. Just so we're on the same page, and I just want you to wish that the United States could be this cool and trying to get our teams hyped up, because nothing will ever. We just don't sound this good. Like, our language is not as cool. We just don't sound as unique and special. I wish I was Welsh after watching this, because I would go out there and try to win the World Cup after hearing this. So, hit play on the count of 3, and we'll listen to it together. You ready?
We're starting from 0.
I'll say go. I'll say go. 1, 2, 3, go.
No. On the video, starting from 0.
Yeah. Start from 0.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Michael, as a proud Welshman, you must be excited to be playing England in the World Cup this winter.
Oh yes.
Can I ask you, can you give us a little burst of the sort of rousing speech that you might give the Welsh lads before the game?
Oh my God, that's a big responsibility.
Aaron Ramsdale is across from him, by the way.
Can we have some music, please?
Is it?
All right, I have to get in the right headspace now. Okay. Amarohid. I hear the voices singing. Speed your journey, boys back. One nation, singing with one voice. A song of hope, a song of courage, a victory song that floats through the valleys like a red mist, rolls over the mountaintops like crimson thunder. A red storm is coming to the gates of Qatar. It crackles with the spirit of '58 and Jimmy Murphy's boys. It turns the pages of the history books and finds Rob's page, waiting, still to be written. What would you write in there, boys? Dare you write your names on that page? We haven't waited 64 years and come halfway around the world to be troubled by a neighbor from back home. When the English come knocking on our door, let's give them some sugar, boys! Let's give them some Welsh sugar! They've always said we're too small, we're too slow, we're too weak, too full of fear. But Amar O'Heed, you sons of speed, as they fall around us, we are still here!
Oh my God!
Wasn't that awesome?
There's no way. That's off the top of the dome. He's got that written down.
Dude, apparently this dude loves the team. He knows his history. Wales invited him to come do a team speech. So there's another video of him going to one of their training facilities and doing not the exact same speech, but a rendition of it. But, I don't think he's an actor. He acts. Yeah. But I do think he knows his history. And
it seems like it, yeah.
There were just couple things which you'll probably hear it as I repeat it. He said Rob's Page. Mm-hmm. That's the coach. The coach of the Wales is Rob Page. So when he says Rob's Page, double entendre, super smart. He goes on about the red mist, the red wall, Welsh being red, genius. He talks about Jimmy Murphy in 58. 1958 is the last time Wales made the World Cup.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy Murphy was a player who got turned into a coach because their coach died with some crazy airstrike. So he had to step in, be their coach, got them at a group stage, only to lose to, any ideas, in 1958?
1958. It feels like too poetic to be England, but
it's not England. That would be that'd be a true bummer. Arguably, they lost to the best soccer player of all time, Pele in Brazil, who went on to win the World Cup.
Fair enough.
So he then goes on 64 years is the last time they were there. He brings up 64 a couple times in there. It's just genius. It's genius writing. I'd hate to say that is scripted. But yeah. He's an actor. He I feel like he can just fire this stuff off the top of the dome. You probably heard him say "Omeo Heed" a couple times. I thought that was gibberish, but I remember
it's Welsh.
Welsh is kind of gibberish. But do you know what that is? Any idea? No. I didn't know what it was, so I just Googled it. It is a folk song that Wales sings before every game. It's super hype, super cool. The whole crowd gets super into it.
I know, like, singing and like especially like family singing together and like community singing together is like a really big thing in Wales. So makes sense.
I hate they're in our group. I hate it, Chad.
Look, it can be us and them that get out. That's fine.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool.
Why not?
It could happen. And so a couple shout outs. Joe Allen made the Welsh squad.
Dang, okay.
Arsenal legend Aaron Ramsey made the Welsh squad. Of course. Yeah. And then hopefully Gareth Bale will be there too. That would be.
He'll be there. Yeah.
So cool. I do you think we'll ever be that cool and have a hype speech like that?
See, I think it's hard we're just too big of a country. I think that we have our like American culture, but then there's so many like, I guess, like micro cultures, right? Or like you have Northern California culture and Southern California culture. It's like not all too different, but different enough that you can kind of tell when you talk to someone of like, ooh, you're not from here, but like you are Californian or whatever. So I think it's like hard, like being so big and having so many different cultural ideas and norms and stuff. Or it's like, I don't think we'll be like that connected through like history, I guess, and for anyone to give like one rousing speech like this where it like hits with everyone from the US, I don't even know who could do this, like even to like say it with such a good like motivation and
it's the passion. Like the passion's amazing. I in my head I went back to who narrated All or Nothing for Arsenal? Daniel
Kaluuya or something. Yeah,
that's where my head went for being like, oh, he could do United States. I'm like, he's not even from here. Like, doesn't even make sense. That's just where my head went because I'm like so focused on this European style. Yeah, I don't know. Tim Howard, could he do it?
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, I want to end our podcast with Omeo Heed to kind of phase us out. I really want to do our last little segments, like have our different song rather than our intro, just to get the good vibes going and maybe just play a whole song out. So that'll be today's ending. This was a fun pod. We went for an hour and 30 today. So oof. I know I'm sleepy boy. It's bedtime, but that was fun. We have one more week at the Premier League.
And
13 days to the World Cup, and boy, are we going to be busy.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Survivor pool, we need 3 more people.
Get in
I've
there.
received no one's rosters for the World Cup yet, but we're all procrastinating. We have no idea even what rosters look like yet.
Yeah. A few countries haven't announced. So
we're now on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Audible. I found out we're on Audible. I googled us and we're on Audible, so that was super neat. Nice. We're everywhere. We're gonna pop off. This is gonna be a pretty crazy.
I'm getting the Instagram together. It's early days over there, so don't go there expecting too much. But we're expanding.
We'll put some clips up there. Stickers are coming soon. I got a nice little mug coming for you. Hopefully Thanksgiving. If I can get it to you by the next pod, that would be sweet. I'll try my best to do that. But until then, this has been the Hooligans Pitch, episode 13. We'll see you later. Here's O'Neal Heat. Goodbye.